Well, g'day guys, and welcome back to my land. Haven't had one of these for a couple of months because yeah, the weather has been against us. So the both previous coffee and creams were deleted. So this is the first one for this month, and of course it's the last one for this year, as a motorcycle gets in on the action as well. Nice little Datsun, almost looks like a little Triumph, but I can assure you it's a Datsun. As one of the last of the Mohicans rolls through, beautiful Chrysler Valiant. It's a Regal too. Beautiful. And then a Chrysler product, but not an Australian Chrysler product, an American Chrysler product. Looking very, very nice too. Gotta love your Chryslers. What a beautiful van. And a little Volkswagen. And I think tonight, if you've got a young child in tow, they would give you a little Hot Wheels car as well. How cool is that? But yeah, it's a beautiful, warm, very warm evening down here at Mile End. And of course, a good way to finish the year, as we watch the parade of beautiful, beautiful old school cars with lots of chrome roll in and some very tasty sounds as well. Beautiful Valiant coming in. Absolutely magnificent. VIP with these sergeant stripes down the side. Absolutely magnificent. Little Tirana, VL, Kelly, Holden, and a Toyota Starlet. But he shouldn't be in it because he's not eligible. There's a HQ GTS coupe comes in. So I think we'll be in for a bit of a treat tonight, that's for sure. As I said, the previous two coffee and creams were cancelled, and this being the last one for 2025, and I believe we'll be back again, all to do it again in 2026. And since I've changed vantage spot to stand in the shade rather than standing in the sun, as the old school little Ford Cortina rolls in with Homer Simpson in tow. Now this poor old VL is a bit of an orphan, because it's cool, but they won't let him in because he's got the plastic bumpers, which is a bit of a shame. Oh, and here comes that stunning HR Prim. Followed by an equally stunning one. Put me all out of sorts. Beautiful SLR 5000. And I think we're going to see the Beetle Brigade. Couple of Holden Monaros, always good to see them. The old HK as well. The muscle car for Australia, which is so cool, and the Combi Utility. They've probably got some weird ass German name for it, but anyway, I'll call it a utility, whatever. And we've got some more Beetle action. Thought he was going to come toward me then. He took a bit of a dive. Now we've got a few of the Fords rolling in. It's funny how they're almost coming in manufacturer's order. They have groups of Holdens and groups of Fords and all that jazz. So yeah, it's quite unique really. But yeah, I think the place is starting to fill. So they might be all starting to look for a bit of a park. Because where do you park your land yacht? Where do you park your land yacht? Especially when you've got a Volkswagen blocking your way. So of course this is causing a bit of a backup in traffic. Very nice Fairlane 500. Followed by a nice Jag. Yeah, and there's a nice Valiant Ute. Wayfarer. The old Wayfarer Ute. That one's beautiful. Okay, well we've seen a few roll in. The rest of them are down that way, so we'll go walkabouts. Well, two equally cool cars, but which one would you be having? Holden or a Ford? Let me know down in the comments. Probably all the Ford fans will be going for the Ford, and all the Holden fans will be going for the Holden. Hey, beautiful blue Mustang, another HQ, very nice, big old Cadillac. The HD that we've seen many times before. Some very cool cars here tonight. Including this baby blue Monaro. Very clean indeed. The colour on this is absolutely stunning. So it does suit it very nicely. And I just love that. Another HD Premier. And with an X2 there, of course very similar to the model that followed it up. Of course these only run for I think it was less than, or just about 12 months, or maybe just a bit less. And then they brought out the HR model in 1966. So these are from 65 mainly. And yeah, and in 66 they brought out the HR. But nice to see a few HDs still rolling around. In fact, there's quite a lot more than what you imagine rolling around these days. But it's so cool to see. And a Plymouth Cooter. Very nice. I do love that. And sorry for getting a bit close to it, but there was a group of people walking behind me, and I think I was getting pushed out of the way. So anyway, one of the hazards of filming and walking around, but this thing is beautiful. I love it. And of course, if you're into your Triumphs, there's a 2500 TC for something for the English viewers who would be more adapt to these. And I think he's going to come in here, so I better move out my way. And this thing has the little B flag as well. Nice to see. So it's a 2500 Mark II. Very, very cool. As this thing is rattling and rolling and making some beautiful sound. So it's a case of looking for shade tonight. Here's a beautiful Charger RT. Love that. There's a nice old Holden's just ticking by. Oh, I love the sound of those old straight sixes. As much as I love the sounds of big burbly V8s, I do love the sound of an original old Holden 6. Beautiful little Ford Escort. Believe it or not, I do like that model. RS2000, absolutely gorgeous. Blue on that one. Do love that. Sort of a favourite of mine, the old Tiranas, along with most of the Holden clan. But yeah, I did like the two-door coupes. Didn't mind these four doors as well, but I think this one's had his rear doors somewhat welded, or maybe not, or just had the door handles deleted by the look of it. I thought from the way the angle was with the sun, it looked like it had been welded, but it hasn't. So it's just had the deleted handles put in, which looks very cool. So it sort of makes it look like a two-door coupe. But that thing is beautiful blue. Knew somebody that had one like that very many years ago. But nice old VB rolling in. HQ. How's that? So yes, there's Holdens, Chryslers, Fords, all sorts. A good selection. Just looking at this, a beautiful Pontiac, and he's got a very nice and funny sign in it. If I can creep in on it. How's that? Warning, this car has no airbags. Well, it has no airbags. We die like real men. How true. A very big Oldsmobile Delta 88 convertible. How's that? That and that dash cluster gleaming in the sunshine, hey? Very cool. I suppose with a big car you do need a big brake pedal and a even bigger accelerator. Probably helps it propel it along the road, but that thing is very massive indeed. So I think we've seen this one once or twice before, VH wagon. The VH Commodore with a bit of a body kit wrapped around it. Chrome bumper bars. And it's got Commodore HDT sticker on the side. Not bad. It's got overriders on it. Still like an original looking VH, but hey, it's still an old survivor from the 80s. There's a nice Chevrolet rolls in. Another Triumph. Very cool. Triumph Stag. How cool is that looking?
I'll put through ready.
Nice RT. And yes, there's still more coming in. I'm trying to cross the road here, but there's too much traffic. I'm trying to go across to see that Valiant. Speaking of Hemis, get a load of the sound of that one. Alright. Yeah. Now these are the ones that were the last of the Mohicans, as I call them. Because when Mitsubishi took over Chrysler, that was the end of them. But I think they look so cool. The same as these VE models. These were cool too. V8, of course, this being a VIP, had that little bit of extra luxury. And of course, back at Chrysler Day when we had Tonsley, got to meet a good, well, sort of become good friends now with a fellow who had one of these, or has still got one of these, and was privileged enough to go for a nice little ride in it. Absolutely magical, just like riding in a magic carpet. But as you can see, the last of the Valiants were just that little bit longer, a little bit lower, but still cool as. Yes, I know I like my Holdens, I don't mind Fords, but I love Valiants and Chrysler as well. Nice big Impala rolling along. And of course the custom lookalike FJ is here. How cool is that thing? Even with Foose wheels on it. Of course, I think most people know who Chip Foose is. But yeah, that thing is absolutely epic. Have a look at something else equally as cool in a minute, after we've looked at this Tirana 2600. Beautiful. Very, very nice. And it's even got the old school Tandy Radio Shack security system. Hey, who remembers those? Hey, one you could install yourself. Very, very nice. This says it's a Trimatic SL. And yeah, confirmed. It's got the hand shifter or column shift automatic. Thing is very, very impeccable. Then we come to this one. And name it and you can have it.
Yeah, right.
There you are, Eureka.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, apparently it's got a Volkswagen thing in it and rides on the Volkswagen chassis. Looks cool though. Almost looks like the Holden car that they did dressed up. Thing is very, very nice though. And the combi van that looks like he's got some little eyelashes or eyebrows or eyelids over his windows. Whichever way you want to look at it. So we've got a few more Volkswagens along here. There's a very, very noisy Mustang goes past. This sounds a little bit worse for wear. But yeah, there's some nice looking Volkswagens. And as some more are rolling in, some are starting to roll out as well. And I better move out the way. Beautiful FC. I think we've seen him once or twice before. This thing is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Even better than when it rolled off the production line, I think. Not that I was around in 58, but what I'd imagine. Beautiful SLR 5000, complete with puppy dog. And of course here we have a beautiful Plymouth Belvedere. Very, very cool. And if you think the back of, or the back wings and that look like a bit like a Australian made Chrysler Royal, you'd be right. Very closely related, I believe. But look at that. Look at the back on that. And it's even got the little dent for the spare tyre indentation, which the early Valiants had, which apparently the Australian people public did not like. But anyway, so that's got that, which looks so cool, I reckon. But this thing is very, very nice, and like I said, it does sort of remind me a bit of a Chrysler Royal that were made at Keswick all them years ago by Chrysler in Australia. Let's check out his dash. That looks very nice. There's another group of cars that are just rolling in, including the Tirana and a VJ Valiant. It's getting a bit noisy around here. So yes, the car park is filling up. But that's cool. Means more, we get to see more cars. Now, I think that's HR's going to reverse in. Yes, he is. Certainly looks different to the one that my dad had, because he had Holden and Special on the back, and it had a chrome strip across it as well. The one he had has a nice RT charger, sort of pushes himself into position as well. By the Gran Torino going past. This thing is so nice though, that HR. Oh, Sandman Ute. 4-door Tirana sedan. There's a gap in here, fellas. You can fill up. All the ones waiting still to get in. So yeah, it's getting pretty hectic around here. Ooh, very nice Ford. Love the gold on this. Reminds me of one of my dad's mates. He had one of these that he had done up all them years ago. That was so cool. He got it and painted it and redid the motor and everything on it and sold it for a bit of a packet, which was good because he did put in a lot of work. But yeah, every time I see one of these models, it sort of reminds me of my dad's mate. And as we look at this, very, very nice Belvedere, or Bel Air, sorry. And as we look at this very nice Bel Air, hope you guys all had a nice Christmas, and hopefully we'll see you all in 2026. We've got a couple of things coming up special next year, so stick around. Yeah, as I was saying, we've got a few little specials coming toward your way next year, so stay tuned for that. And we look at this beautiful green RT Charger. Look how big that RT badge is. That's massive. I don't think Chrysler Australia put bigger badges like that, but everything's bigger in America. Very nice Vito. Well, they say it's busier than Rundle Street. Not that I was around when Rundle Street was running, but apparently that used to be the cruise spot in Adelaide. Very, very nice sounds coming out of these. I think you could say these are some of Adelaide's toughest streeters. Especially with this. Check him out. Ooh. Love a rumble on that. That's fucking epic. He's gonna try and squeeze in there. Feel the ground shaking, and he's just at idle. That thing is cool. That sound was brought to you by a HK Holden 59 split. I think I saw him at a couple of shows before, but got a little picnic table, a little picnic basket in there with wine glasses, plates, knives, forks, everything you need. And he's got his windows jetting open there, so yeah, you could take the whole family plus a few friends in the back of this one, that's for sure. Vintage VW Charter, and it's got a cute little roof rack on top as well. Bit of an old Volvo. Beautiful HR. Do you like the HRs? Very nice old Chev. Should be feeling the heat a bit today, I think. $1939. So yeah, she's from yesteryear. Excuse me while I weave in around and duck and weave. And here we have a big old Bedford van. Always reminds me of what was that cartoon, Scooby-Doo? That, can't remember exactly what it was, but it sort of does remind me of that that era. So whether it's 60s, 70s, something like that. But this thing is very, very cool indeed. Love the paintwork on it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Never really considered a van, but yeah, could be interesting. Something that you don't see every day, with the little Leyland badge on it. The Triumph Stag. How cool is that? With his lovely, lovely dash layout, wood grainy look. Very, very swish indeed. Very nice. It's an automatic, but that does not matter. It does not matter one bit. This thing is beautiful. And he's got a couple of nice exhaust pipes sticking out as well. The thing is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful burgundy sort of colour next to an equally nice Stingray. I mean, I'm just getting back to get a perspective of between the look of the Stag and the Stingray. I think they look very cool too. Did somebody say a Ford console? Well, here's one. I suppose you'd call it two-tone. White over red, I'd say. 1952 Ford console. Don't see too many of them. That's for sure. I think they were reasonably popular at one stage. And from what I see around on the Facebook and whatever, there's still quite a few of them kicking around in the UK. But very, very interesting car to see. Very, very interesting. And of course, a car that we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 times, maybe more. I don't know. One of the first of the VB Commodores. SLE. Beautiful. Very, very cool to see these cars. Well, 1 or 2 of them still looking fresh as the day they came off the Holden production line. Even though they do look a bit. And how could I ignore one of my favourite all-time VH Chargers, the RT, in my, one of my favourite colours, I suppose, and liveries. Absolutely beautiful. Love that line. Charger 265 Hemi. Absolutely love it. Next to a very, very, very old, honest looking Regal. Even right down to the paintwork looks still original. How cool is that? I'm blown away by that. And it doesn't appear to have any rust in it whatsoever. Nothing down on the seals. Doesn't appear to be restored. But you never know. But it's got the old school look. It's got a few little chippy marks down there, but hey, this thing is a real survivor, hey. Shows you the quality of the craftsmanship of the Australian car manufacturing way back. Don't know what colour you'd call this, but I suppose you'd call it, say, I don't know, purple, lilac, whatever. Looks rather nice. Ford Fairlane XL. Thing's a big old bugger. But yeah, I actually mind the colour on that. Looks rather cool. So we've got a few Valiants. We've got this old girl here. I wish people would beautiful Chrysler Valiant hardtop 2-door. Very, very nice. Love the red on it. And the original looking wheels as well. Very, very cool. More Valiant. BMW. Something that you don't see very often these days. The old school Toyota Corolla. And no, that's not him making that sound. I think these were from around about the 70s, weren't they? I think, something like that, 70s. The old Toyota sedan. I don't think they were a bad sort of a car. I do remember a few going along the road blowing smoke, but yeah, not a bad sort of a car. Of course, it looks a bit small in comparison when it's parked next to this big Chrysler. And if I move out the way, got to make way for the Centura. Chrysler Centura. What a magnificent car. Of course, based on the 180 from Europe. When Chrysler had a foothold in Europe. They made these only for about 4 years, weren't that popular, and decided to stop selling them. Of course, the main thing was their fame was that they came out with the Hemi 6s in them, or you get the cut down 4. But I love them. I think they're so cool and very 70s. Bit like, what was that film? Driving Miss Daisy. Big old Cadillac, eh? As we're near a Volkswagen Fastback.
Yeah, unless it's remote, I think.
Very popular. I think the originals had a, the washer wiper thing was run off, or air pressure, I think, off the spare tyre. Because the spare tyre is in the front, the motor's in the back, of course. And yeah, I believe I was just reminded of that the other day by somebody, and forgot all about that. But how cool is that? This line starts very interesting. VC HDT Commodore, complete with livery and the little Peter Brock memorial badge at the back. Yeah. Camaro.
And even then, that's probably worth a fortune now.
And then we go to a Ford Prefect. I mean, oh, you look at that. One time they probably would have looked reasonably large, but yeah, very, very small and cute. What does it say? Ford Motor Company of England. So there we are. The English Ford Prefect. And it's got GB on the back as well. How cute. And then we go to a HR. Very, very, very cool HR. Almost similar colour to what my old man had. And then we go to a Tirana Sunbird. The old Sunbird. And yeah, one of the last of the Tirana models before they changed, the general change to Commodore. So yeah, as you can see, tonight they are packed. Cuda 67, LX Tiranas, absolutely, like I said, some of Adelaide's toughest muscle cars are here, out in force, absolutely stunning. sneak across here. Have a look at this Valiant VJ hardtop. Far out. Look at that. No wonder Chrysler Australia needed a big press. Oh wow, look at the bodywork on that. That is absolutely impeccable. I know, I think I've seen it once or twice before, but look, I don't get sick of seeing these things. Beautiful. Been very, very nicely done up, that's for sure. And then of course the other side there we've got more cars and more people. As this Cuda rolls out. So this is the nice LH Tirana, squarey headlights. I didn't mind them. I used to think they were quite cool. Well, the red headlights seem to be the more preferred ones, but I didn't mind the square ones at the front. Thought they looked rather good. But yeah, it's nice to see a couple of Tiranas, or more than a couple. And a panel van as well. Poor Valiant couldn't wait to go to the toilet. It's one of the hazards of having an old car, eh? Every now and again, something starts to leak. But anyway, I'm sure they'll get it sorted. This beautiful old girl, made by Chrysler Australia. Well, as you can see, this has got to be one of the biggest turnouts I've been to for a long, long time. And it is the last one for 2025. So on that note, I think I'll take a few more photos and then I'll grab a gear and disappear as well. So I'll say thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing to Cars and Stuff, and look out for some very exciting stuff coming up in 2026. So happy new year to you all, and I think my next one may be from Holden Day. So until then, like I said, happy new year to all, and we'll see you in 2026.